Well, good evening. I'm glad that you could all be here with me tonight. If not in person, the next best thing virtually. My name is John McKain. I am your son or daughter's geometry teacher this year. This is my virtual back to school night. I've got a few things I want to visit with you about, hopefully answer questions that you might already have, but understanding that I might not address all of those things. So encouraged to make contact with me via email or phone call here when you have the opportunity, and I'll provide that information to you here at the end of our presentation. So here's some pictures of me. I included this picture of me with my mask on because you're going to see me that way a lot. But also you'll notice here I got 4 fishing pictures, and by no means am I trying to show off, but a pretty good fish, I think. But anyways, a little bit about me. I've been teaching for, this is my 13th year. I've taught geometry, I think, now for 4 years. This would be my 5th year. And as you see, I love to be outside and on the lake, near the lake, fishing, camping, hiking, and the like. I've been married now for 8 years, and I have 2 young daughters at home. I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, and 5-year-old just started kindergarten. So it's been quite the change here in this global pandemic. And but she was so excited, and we're excited too. So just a little course description here. Geometry, year-long course. We're going to cover a variety of geometric topics. Those are all listed there. I'm not going to take the time to read all of them. Some things to note here with this different year we're going to have. In years past, I've been able to cover just about everything that lives in the textbook, but that might not happen this year, and that's okay because a lot of the times towards the end we cover some bonus material. But I did want to also note that I think that we're going to have the time and the opportunity this year to address some algebra topics that mostly occurred maybe there in that 4th quarter in our emergency virtual learning last year. I've sent out a survey to students via Canvas about, all right, if there's anything that we'd like to address in review of Algebra 1, what are those things? So waiting to hear back from your kids so that we can hopefully reteach, relearn, review, bolster those skills. So if there's any sort of concerns about the end of algebra last year and content that was missed or maybe not mastered, we're going to have some opportunities. Like I said, we'll have the opportunity to just review those things, but the algebra skills and the algebra topics, they are embedded throughout the course. For this class, kind of what are you going to need? Make sure that you got your district Chromebook every day charged and ready to go. Pencil, we want to be able to make mistakes, fix the mistakes of pencils. Graph paper is highly recommended, and that's going to be true for any math class from here on out. Just graph paper, it's nice to have. And then our online textbook. And that's something that we're going to check out on one of our first days of school, and I'll take care of that with your students. But we're working from college preparatory mathematics geometry course, so CPM. Class expectations, my class expectations follow along school-wide class expectations. Big 3, be safe, respectful, be responsible. But I've added a 4th one to that, that'd be challenged. In terms of being safe this year, it's important that we're engaging and participating and behaving in a way that eliminates any possibility of somebody getting hurt, but also it getting sick. So we need to make sure that we're following all those COVID-19 protocols. Wear your mask every day, wear that mask to protect others, and practice social distancing. Being respectful. We want to make sure that we are kind to each other, kind to one another, give respect, get respect. We want the classroom, whether it's virtual or in person, to be a safe place. Being responsible, like being prepared every day. Another thing that's important about being responsible is recognizing when you need help and support, and not hesitating to reach out and get that. So I always encourage my students that, hey, if you need some help, that's what we're here for. When nobody's expected to learn things first go around. So be responsible, do what you need to get the support and the help that you need. And then being challenged. This idea that, again, you're going to find success often through failures. We've got to expect to make mistakes, and we want to learn from those mistakes. And then focus on why it works and why it is the way it is, and that how to do it will follow. By no means is that, an exhaustive list of the expectations, but I think that these 4 pretty well sum up what's expected of students in my geometry class. Grading policy, typically parents and teachers want to know, how am I going to be graded this year? So we've got our categories. It's going to be aligned to the school-wide grading policy. Assignments and grades in the exposure category will account for 10%. Progression will account for 20%, and mastery category would be 70%. You can see here at 20% plus 70%, 90% of your student's grade or your grade is going to be based on their assessment. What have they learned? For my class, think exposures of what we do in class and kind of homework while we're learning. Progression, kind of checking in, where are we at, how we doing, think quizzes. And mastery is kind of checking in, what did we learn? Did we learn it? Think tests. Do want to note that the grading scale here posted, pretty standard, but the redo retake policy is again aligned to the Laramie Middle School policy. And all tests and quizzes in my class are eligible for redos, retakes. Ultimately, we want you guys to learn. We want your students to learn the material. And if we don't do particularly well on assessment, that's just an indication of something wasn't learned. The expectation for a redo, retake, though, is we need to make sure that we're prepared for the retake. So if we didn't learn it, what is it that we didn't learn? Why didn't we learn it? What do we need in order to be successful, in order to be prepared? And then arrange for that retake, retest. I wanted to just briefly talk about the Tier 2 AB cohorts start that we have to our school year, kind of the tentative plan that I have. And the first thing I just want to do is go out and make a request to you as parents, guardians, to you as a student, and that I really need your patience and flexibility this year, and I understand that you're going to need that as well. You know, we're going to expect things to change frequently, kind of learning as we go, finding out what works and what doesn't work. And so understand that there's going to be patience and flexibility all around, and I'd ask you for that, please. And not to hesitate when you need some help, when you need some support, you got questions, concerns, confusion, but reach out. And I just ask that you be solution focused. We've got some issue up ahead of us with some concern, some question, that we come in with a solution focused mind and trying to come up with the best solution that we can. We're going to have our in-person days and our virtual days. So the plan for the virtual days is actually where the instruction is going to occur. So we're going to kind of try a flipped model. The instruction will occur on our in-person days, or excuse me, our virtual days. And the in-person days will be used to provide that additional support, practice, give feedback on what happened on those virtual days. So the idea is instruction and lessons occur on the virtual days. Additional help, support occur on those in-person days. The idea with those virtual days is I will be recording lessons and we'll be working through our lessons and the problems that live in the textbook, and your students are encouraged, well, not encouraged, they're asked to engage in that and kind of work collaboratively, although virtually and not live, but working through those problems, working through those lessons along with me, and allowing themselves to determine, hey, am I making sense of this? The things that I'm struggling with, what are those things that I'm struggling with? What do I need to come into on that in-person day and get help and support with? This is the plan tentatively. We're going to see how it goes, but like I said, need your flexibility, need your patience as we learn what works and what doesn't work. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this evening, this afternoon, or whenever it is that you're watching it, but understand that I might not have answered all the questions that you have. So don't hesitate, reach out. My email address is right there. That's found on the district website as well. And this phone number is here for the middle school. Like I said, don't hesitate, questions, concerns, even if it's just I need one piece of clarification, or I got lots of questions. I'm ready to field those questions and provide you the best answers and solutions that I can. I'm looking forward to this year. It's going to be an interesting year. I think that could be the understatement of the century, but interesting is what we'll call it. Looking forward to it, though. Looking forward to getting to see your kids and getting to work with them. This geometry class is a neat bunch. It always has been. It's the top students at Laramie Middle School, a group of like-minded individuals, focus on academics and learning and, kind of a passion for learning. So it's usually a pretty great group. Looking forward to it this year. Thanks again for your time, and have a great one.